Paying for a ride on the T has never been easier, but some tell us they still aren't paying at all.
Fare evasion is a persistent problem, especially in portions of the Green Line. NBC 10's Jeff Saperstone covers the MBTA for us, and he worked with Boston University journalism students to investigate.
It's the answer we repeatedly heard.
I don't think I see anyone pay if the back doors get open.
When talking to students who use the Green Line near Boston University.
Do you normally pay?
No, probably no.
There are no fare gates at these stations on the B branch. Riders are supposed to pay when they get on board. But our crew repeatedly saw riders streaming onto trains, sometimes 25 to 30 people at a time, without even glancing at the payment system. Students tell us, ever since the T implemented tap to pay, it's been easier to get a free ride.
There's just not enough time with the amount of students going in, so it can get kind of cumbersome.
Both BU and Boston College offer discounted MBTA passes, but fewer students are opting to get them. NBC 10 Boston teamed up with journalism students at Boston University who crunched the numbers. 20 years ago, BU students purchased 5,000 semester passes, according to a school spokesman. That number has shrunk to just 900, dwindling demand for a service many students told us they use for free.
You'll notice almost everybody gets in the second and third door. Nobody goes in the first door because that's the door you're supposed to pay from.
Professor Terrence Regan, who once worked for the MBTA and Federal Transit Administration, says fare evasion is something the T needs to address.
I think it's a real problem if everybody says I don't have to pay, because for those few people who do pay, it builds resentment.
How do you solve that problem?
Well, there's a couple things that we're doing.
For one, the T has hired more than a dozen fare engagement representatives who will check to see if riders pay and could issue warnings or fines. General Manager Phil Eng says those teams will eventually have handheld devices like these to verify if riders have paid.
Once we have the tablets and there's a means of verifying whether or not someone paid, that should change ridership behavior.
And that's important, says the T. Last year, the agency estimated it could lose at least $25 million per year due to lost fares. How big of an issue is fare evasion?
Every dollar is important to us.
Eng says the new measures are all about getting riders to comply.
I've seen other properties in other parts of the world where fare engagement and penalties that come along with being caught have actually deterred it.
If I say that the T is my lifeline, it's important to pay.
And the T tells us those fare engagement teams will be deployed on the B branch next month and should have those handheld devices sometime next year. In the newsroom, Jeff Saperstone, NBC 10 Boston.